Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone, how are you? I hope that all would be fine. And today's class, as we have discussed about, will be on the review of the Python programming's previous 4 or 5 classes which have been conducted. There was a gap. Please wait. Let me share the group, the link of this class to the group so that all of you can join easily, and we will have a review of the previous classes, and after today's class we will start from forward the new chapters, new lessons and new topics. But today we will have a revision or review class of Python programming, where you will have a review and a revision on the core concepts of the Python programming. So let me share the link of today's class, invite people, and this may take 1 minute at most. Let me check and share the link to the group. I'm live, join now. Python revision class, the first revision class of Python, and after this class, the next class we will conduct, and we will continue the further topics from the next class, but today's class is very necessary. Please wait. Let me share the live link to the group. So that there is some error. Let me check. Okay, it's a live class being conducted, whether it's showing on here or not. I think so that it is showing here. It was my channel. If you have not subscribed this channel, then please subscribe it. Let me share the link to the class, to the group. So I have shared the link to the group, and if you are new to this course, I request you to subscribe to our channel, TRICKSY Tips, and download TRICKSY Tips to stay updated about all our new courses and also this course. So let me start the today's revision classes, and from today I will start from the very basics, and we will learn from the book A Smarter Way to Learn Python. We will use this book in our whole course, so please download this book from our Facebook group. It is available, and you can download it for free. So when we discuss about computer is an electronic device that accepts data as input. It accepts the data as input and processes the data according to our instructions, which we give in the form of the program. And we write code. Computer understands that computer actually understands two things: zeros and ones. If you have a notebook, then please take your notebook with you, and so that you can easily make your notes yourself. Today we will not share any slides, and you will have to write by yourself, and it is a method of learning coding. So because today is a revision class, not a new class, so we will not review any of the slides, but we will discuss anything and on the very basic. So Python, what is Python? Before going to know what is Python, we have to know about what is a programming language. A programming language is a language which is used to communicate with the computer, and there are multiple programming languages. There are two types of programming languages. The number one is a high level programming language, and number two is low level programming language. You can write this on notebook in your own language, just for your understanding. A high level programming language is one that is more easy for humans to understand, whereas a low level language is not easy for a human to understand, and Python is one of the high level programming languages. And Python was invented 30 years ago. It was invented by Guido van Rossum, and at that time he was actually watching a series at that time of Monty Python. It was a comedy series, so that Guido van Rossum invented Python, and it named it after the word Python. So it is one of the oldest programming languages and one of the easiest ones. and Python is a high-level programming language, and it has several libraries, and it has a lot of easy concepts. A newbie in programming, someone who has only basic knowledge of computer and does not know about programming, can easily work on Python programming, easily understand Python programming. Just like we have to know sentences, before creating a sentence we have to know the vocabulary and we have to know the grammar. In the same way, when we want to talk to computer, we need a language, and the language will be available, and it will have its vocabulary, which is called syntax, and it is called its vocabulary, which is the list of its keywords or some other things, and the way we write the program, the code, which is used to communicate to the computer, then it will be called the syntax of that programming language. So Python is a very easy to learn programming language, and because it is open source programming language. Python is open source. You can download and see the source code of Python from the official repository of GitHub of Python, and you can make modifications, and there are several games, several applications which are invented with the help of the Python, and it is continuously growing. Python is continuously growing. So if you have any difficulty in learning it, you can also refer to the documentation of the Python, but it will be sufficient as this book is smarter way to learn Python programming, and with using this book we will be able to use Python. So once we learn about what Python is and why should we learn Python, because it is one of the most demanded languages of the world, it is most easy to learn, and there are several libraries in Python which saves our time in writing the code repeatedly. So once you write a code, you can use it in the form of functions, etc., and if there are multiple built-in libraries, so you don't have to write complex codes many times. You just call the library and Python code works itself. And it is an interpreted programming language. What is Python? It is an interpreted programming language, which means that Python translator reads your instructions line by line, and I will show you about its practical implementation, and the language you are learning here. The 30-year-old general purpose programming language is Python, as we have discussed. So we learn about Python, what Python is, why should we learn Python, and there are several job opportunities in Python. The ways of data science are open for you when you learn Python. Also you can do web development with the help of Python. There are several other fields in scientific fields, mechanical, or many other fields, deep learning, etc., in which Python is helpful for you. So as we start learning Python, we have to set up an environment. What should we do for doing it? Firstly we have to go to google.com, and then we have to download Python programming language. What we have to download, we have to write Python over on the Google, and it will show us the results. Go to the python.org and download the latest version of the Python. So when you will download the latest version of the Python, click on this will website will be opened, python.org. It is the official website of Python, and you can download the latest version of Python from here. How can you download? Go to downloads and download for Windows. If you want to download it for Windows, then you can go from here, and if you want to download from Mac OS, click on here, or any other platform, go to here. But because I am using Windows, so that I will download the Python latest version of the Python. This will be Python 3.10.1. By the time you are watching, the latest version of the Python that is shown on its official website is 3.10.1 Python 3.10.1 version, which is the best available for Windows, the latest version, recommended. So I will click on it, and it will download Python for me. Yes, it is asking me to download, and I clicked on start download. Now it will download the Python interpreter idle integrated development learning environment for me. Python idle for me. Now it is being downloaded. This version is now downloaded. Someone is saying that there is so much distortion. Let me check. I'm not getting to know about. Is there any distortion? No. Okay, it is downloaded now. I opened it. I clicked on it, and I'm going to install it into my PC. Clicked on install now. Now it will ask me whether I want to allow this app to change to my device. I want to install this into my hard drive. So I will click on yes, because I want to install Python. So one more thing, because we will install Python, and also we will download Anaconda. We will download the Anaconda individual edition, which is a notebook. It has an environment which supports multiple types of multiple categories of the environments for VS Code and data science, machine learning, etc. Many other things, web development. So I will show you about how you can download Anaconda. I have downloaded it and installed it to my PC, but because this is a review class, so I will show you about how you can download this into your PC very easily. After downloading and installing Python, we will download the Anaconda. And what we did, we go to google.com and we write Anaconda. Then we go to this Anaconda, this option, and then we will click on individual edition. Here we will click on get started. And we will install Anaconda individual edition, not team edition but only individual edition. So you click on it, you can see over here that it is showing me anaconda.com/product/individual. So it is an open source edition, individual edition. If you don't have plan to work with a team now, because you are doing on your practice, so you can download the individual edition of Anaconda. So you will click on it and click on download. It will be starting to download, and I am going to click on it, download, and it is going to start download. Once again I am showing you that it will be downloaded. Once it is downloaded, then you have to install it, because I will show you about its download procedure complete, so that you will have no problem. So what we did, we firstly discussed about Python, what Python is, why should we learn Python, and what are the benefits of learning Python, what is a programming language, and how to communicate with the computer, and what Python is an interpreted language, who invented Python, and many other things. After that we install Python, download and install Python from the official website. Now we are downloading Anaconda from the book from the website of Anaconda individual edition. So once it will download it and it will be installed, you can see over here that it looks like this. When you will upload it, when you will click on the Anaconda navigator, it will move like this, and it will show you this option. These are the options which you find under one umbrella, Anaconda navigator. It is a navigator, so you can navigate to multiple tools which are related to data science, data analysis, machine learning, and also web development, etc., data visualization. So what we will write over here, what we will open here, after it will be installed, Anaconda is going to download it. You can see over here that Python was also successfully installed. The setup was complete. Now the class, as Anaconda, and Anaconda is now downloaded, and we have installed it. Anaconda navigator, we will go to it and click on Jupyter notebook. So it will open Jupyter notebook for us, and we will use Jupyter notebook instead of the Python idle integrated development learning environment. So we will use the Jupyter notebook. The reason for conducting today of time passed, and the class was not taken. So we had only 4 class, but there were some responsibilities upon me which I had to fulfill. But now we will conduct class as per schedule, and I hope that you will have no difficulty in taking the class on time, and you will practice yourself, and you will have a keen interest on learning Python, as well as practicing yourself for having a better future in the development career. So I will you can see that I will start Jupyter notebook. So today class may be some sort of a long class, but we will cover all those things which we discussed in the previous classes. I will try to cover them shortly, but maybe something maybe not be discussed over here, because the class format does not allow me to go in that detail. But because today is a review class, so that I will try to summarize all those concepts which were taught in the previous classes to you. So we have friends, we have successfully installed the Jupyter, the Anaconda navigator, Anaconda distribution and individual edition, and we will discuss the, and we have opened the Jupyter notebook. By how we opened it, we opened the Anaconda navigator, and we went to Jupyter notebook and click on launch. Now we will open, click on here and go to new and click on Python 3. Now it will open a new workbook. It will generate a new Jupyter notebook for yourself. And I hope that you will be familiar with this workbook. And once it is opened, you can change it the name of the workbook, just like you change in Excel. For example, I will change the name of it is review and click on rename. So we will start by writing code in this, and Jupyter notebook, this is called Jupyter notebook. It opens like this. This address bar, in the address bar it is the address of this workbook written over here, and this is where we will write our code which we want to execute, Python code. So we will start by writing a print command. So once we for example, when we want to show the output on the screen, we will write a print command, print my name, and I will ask it to print or show this to the screen. And this is the way I am writing the code, is called the syntax. What the syntax says to me, I have to write firstly the print, and after that I will open the brackets, and after that I will insert a quotation mark, and after that I will write that text which I want to show when I show output to the screen. Okay, I will click on run, and you can see over here that because I printed this, so it did not ask me that whether I should print it over here or there. Python is straightforward. When I ask it to print it, it just printed it. It has no mind of itself. Whatever you ask from it, it will answer you, but you have to ask in the right way and in the right question, and the input, it should be available to it prior, because I have told it to my name, print my name, so it showed me my name. If I ask Python to print nothing, what it will print? It printed nothing. You can see over here that if I ask it to print print comma, what it will write? It will write comma. You can see over here. Python is blind to the meanings of your code. Python does not understand the meaning of the code. It only works like a dog, and you ask your dog from whether you want to play with the dog. Dog will follow you. So it is a dog that will follow you along, that plays with your child or with yourself, or that helps you, and that purchases something for you when you give him money. So it barks, it does not bark at you. Definitely it will bark at you if you will do some mistake. They just like your dogs bark on yourself. So Python is blind to the meaning, and this is a simple print statement which every programmer has to learn, has to write when you start writing a code. It is the first command which is written by every programmer. So Python, we have successfully written the print statement. This is called print statement. It is my name Arsalan Jamal, and I have printed this statement successfully. Now after printing a statement, suppose I have this is the simple statement. Now we will discuss about the variable. What is a variable? And where a variable is something that that have some value, and its value can be changed by the time. Variables, so the chapter number 2 of this book, variables for strings, tells about the variable. What is a variable? A variable is a place in a memory, and the value that a variable refers to can change. So we have a space in the memory. For example, everyone has a name. For example, your dog may has a name Bob or something else, and for example, you may have some name like Alex or Ace, and just like I have my name is Arsalan, and the variable, for example, I say that variable is name and its value is Arsalan. Just like variable is father name and the value is Jamal. So let us try this. We will write a variable and insert, give it a value. So in order to define a variable in Python, you just have to write the name of the variable, and the name of the variable is name equals to sign, and you will write double quotations because it is a string. It is a string, so it is a string, name equals to Arsalan. Now it has given the value of Arsalan to the variable name. Variable name is name, and variable's name's value is Arsalan. So this variable is assigned the value of Arsalan, you can see. And if I want to print the value, then there are two methods. Firstly, that I can just write the variable again and click on run. You can see over here that the value inside the variable which was assigned to this variable is now printed. Once again, if I write this, you can also write this by just using a print statement, and after that you will write then the variable name. So I wrote a print statement and it showed me this name. So because the word name contains Arsalan, so it showed me the word Arsalan, the variable, the value, instead of showing me the variable. So in this way we can also work. And there are certain rules for making a variable, and these rules should be kept in mind when you start creating a variable. You can do multiple operations with variables. You can add the value within the variable and less the value, and these are the variable names, legal and illegal. The variable name will be legal and illegal. A legal variable name, that which you can use to name a variable. This is all about naming a variable. You can't, the rule number 1 Rule number 1 is that you can't enclose it in quotation marks. Rule number 2 is that you can't have any spaces in a variable. Rule number 3 is that begin with a number. So let us try in naming a variable with a number. 2a is equals to 12. So I created a variable 2a equals to 12. Let me run. It showed me an error, but that's why, because it has invalid syntax. You can't start a variable name with a number. So this is against the policy of Python, and it is illegal variable name. So you can't declare it. You can't create a variable by not abiding these rules. It can't be a number or begin with a number. And one more thing is that Python's variable can't be of any of the reserved Python's keywords, also known as keywords. And here is the list of Python's keywords that you cannot use when create a variable. And this list is over here. If you read the book carefully, then you will understand it, why these all things are not allowed in naming a variable. You can't name a variable with and, as, assert, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else, except, false, finally, for, from, global, if, import, in, is, lambda, none, non-local, not, or, pass, print, raise, return, true, try, while, with, yield. So you cannot use these keywords. A list of them is over here that you don't need to memorize this list. If you will accidentally try to use any of the reserved keywords as a variable name, Python will refuse it, and it will not allow you to name the variable with this any of these keywords. However, it won't specify that it's a variable naming error, so keep this list in mind. It will not tell you that which kind of mistake you are to keep the best practices in mind. The rest of the rules for the naming the variables are: a variable name can contain only lowercase letters, uppercase, and underscores. It means that lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, and underscores. So no special character is allowed in naming a variable. No special character is allowed when you name a variable. Only lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, and underscores are allowed when you name a variable. So you can see over here, though a variable name can't be any of Python's keywords, it can contain any of those keywords. So for example, if you create a variable named false, you can't create a variable with the name false, but you can create a variable with falsa. Let me try falsa equals to 12. Run. I'm going to run it. You can see over here that falsa is a legal name, because a or a is connected towards this variable, joined with this variable name. So our capital letters are fine when you create a variable, but be careful, variable names are case sensitive. A rose with a lowercase r is not a rose with an uppercase. So let us try this example and call this For example, I create a variable rows equals to 10. So I created a variable named rows and assigned it a value to 10. I will run it. Now I will call this by, just for example, mistakenly I call it, here I assigned the variable to the value 10, and now I need to call this variable. So you can see over here that this variable is not created. Actually this, it is in capital letters, and the variable which I am calling is in small letters. So those are, both of them are different. So variables are case sensitive, so I cannot use a variable written in a capital name, created in a capital name, and I can't call it in a smaller name. Python does not allow me to do so. So variable names are case sensitive, and I will show you its example when I click on run. You can see over here that Python, what kind of error it is showing me. It is name error. It is saying that name rows is not defined. So because why? Because I wrote it rows, but Python is saying that rows is not defined. Python is blind to the meaning of a variable. I have told you already that Python does not understand the difference between a human or a dog. So it is blind to anything, and but it differentiates between the name of a variable. Variable is a kind of an identifier. So you can't be an identifier as an adult or a child with the same community. They maybe have different roles. So rows capital is not equals to, should not be called by rows small. So if I want the desired result and the correct variable, what should I write it? I write like this, rows in capital. You can see over here that the Python is now showing me the correct answer. So we have also discussed about the variables. Now we will practice the multiplication, addition and subtraction, and we will create a variable name first number, equals to first num equals to 20, second num is equals to 30, and after that first I will add these first num plus second num. Second num. First num the second num. Let us see. It showed me the result 50. So 20 plus 30 equals to 50. Let me copy this again, and I will just change this to minus or subtraction. So it showed me 20 minus 30 equals to minus 10. Now I will copy this again, and I'm going to this time multiply, and multiplication sign is this, first num multiplied by second num. Now I will run it again. You can see over there here that 20 multiplied by 30 equals to 600. Now I will divide this. I again copy and pasted it. This is the sign of division. So first num divided by second num. You can see over here that I will clicked run. So it divided 20 to 30. first num divided by second num. So we have discussed about addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Now we will discuss about a remainder. What is a remainder? When you divide one number to another number, and you have this something that is indivisible, that this will be in a form of decimal places when you don't use a decimal. For example, if you divide, you want the remainder. First num, second num. You can see over here that 20. First num divide first num and remainder second num. It is 20. Now if for example we have a first num and it has value of 20, second num equals to it. So we have not discussed about the increment and decrement. In the next class we will discuss about increment and decrement, but now we have to discuss about what we have so far discussed. So we have, after that we discussed about the list. Yes, the list. Now after that we discuss about list, and the list we will discuss what we will discuss. This is comments in the Python. You write comments like this, so this code will not execute the list. This line will not be executed when I run the code. So list is the combination of the different elements. Okay, different numbers, different numbers, combination of different numbers or strings or variables, different variables or values. List a combination of multiple elements. For example, you may have a list of cities, and I will create a list of countries. How you differentiate between a variable and a list? A list can contain many elements at a same time. Many list items at the same time, but a variable can contain only one value at a single time. So this is the core difference between a list and a variable. So a list, you assign, you create a list by first calling the list name and equals to sign, then this bracket, this square bracket, and under these square brackets you will write the list items. For example, countries in Pakistan, India, Nepal, Nigeria, USA. So these are the name of the countries which are actually the list items of this list. So these are the elements of this list, and each list element has an index number for example, and the index number starts with 0. The word Pakistan is on 0 index of this list, India is on first index, Nepal is on second, Nigeria is on third, USA is on fourth. So I'm going to run this. So it will not run unless I will call it, just like a variable. So I will call it, I created the list in this row. Now I will call it countries. So because it is not a variable, I can't call it like this. It is because I wrote the wrong name. I have written over the wrong name. Now I have written the right name. Countries, the name of the list is countries, and it contains the names of these countries. So in this way we create a list. We can also create a list in an empty list. For example, I generate a list of cities, and I will create a list of cities like this and as an empty list. So you can see over here that there is no element in this list of cities, whereas this list of countries has these elements: 1 2 3 4 5 elements, and from 0 index to 4 index, and it has 5 elements. And whereas cities list has no element in it, it is an empty list. It is called empty list. So when I will call this list cities, I want to check whether any element is inside it or not. You can see over here that it is showing me an empty list. Now I will add an element inside this list, and I will remove also remove an element from this list. So I will do this. Let us see from this book how we can do it. So you can see over here that cities countries dot append. For example, if I want to add a new value to this list, Japan. So I will write the name of the list and use the append method, or method of the append method of the list, countries dot append bracket. After that I will write the name of the list item, Japan. You can see over here that this is now appended. Now I will check the list countries. You can see over here that the word Japan, the list item Japan, is now added to this list. So it has now 6 items and 5 index 0 to index 5 and 6 items. Now if I want to, I have added an element to the list. Now if I want to insert an item at a certain index of a list, then how will I do this? So let me try countries dot insert. I will use the dot insert method, countries dot insert, and after that I will use this. Firstly I will call the index 1. At the index 1 I need this item. I need this item, which is Australia. Yeah, you understand what I am going to do over here. First I am going to run. So what I did over here is that I inserted at index number 1, it is 0, and at index 1 I inserted Australia. So I will check again, calling countries list. Now you can see over here that Australia is now added to the second now added to the first index number 1. It is 0, it is 1, and India is afterwards. But before we insert it to the this specific index, the word Australia, the India was existed on its place previously. So in this way we can insert an element at a specific index. After inserting element, what we will do, sometimes we have to take the slices out of list. So if I want to make a slice out of list, for example, if I want to create a smaller list out of this countries list, smaller underscore list underscore countries equals to countries, and after that I will write the index from the index to the index. So I need slice from index 2 to 4. Now I will check it. It is showing me an error just because of writing the wrong name, and you will find multiple errors when you practice. You will be used to how to tackle the error, and the programmers actually daily have to tackle with the errors, and it is called troubleshooting errors. So I will again check smaller underscore list underscore countries. You can see over here that only India and Nepal is over here. Why this happened? It started from 2, and before it started from this second index, and before the fourth index, from second index and before the fourth index, 0 1 2 3 4. So it contained only 2 and 3 before the 4. After the second with the second index, it started from the second index and the next element, but not the fourth element. Second index and the next element, but not the fourth element. So in this way you can slice elements of a list, and you created another list, smaller countries. You can see that the countries list will be existed on its place. It will not be changed because this list was just created, just copied from this original list, so it will not be changed. I think so that let me show you, and the countries list will not be sliced. You can see over that it is in its original place, and we created another list by just slicing these two elements, copied them, and created another list. This is the whole process, or it is called slicing, list slicing. And how do we slice? We just create the name of the new list and equals to sign, and after that the name of the list from which we need the slice or slices, and the starting index, and the name of the element on which the index we want to include them before the last index, which we will write over here. So index number 2 to index number 3, elements will be over here as India and Nepal over here. I hope that you would be understand about how we did it, because it is a fast pace and it is a review class. Now we are going to deleting and removing elements. How do we delete and remove an element? To delete an element from a list, just we have to for example, I want to delete an element from countries, so I will write